How does Gucci convince people that their bag is worth upwards of $3,000 or $10,000 for a cape? What psychological tricks do they use to generate the aura of prestige around their bags? Like many bag brands of their time, they began as a luxury luggage manufacturer for high-class society. They've evolved and expanded into sports, lifestyle, and luxury accessories under many brand names. But the Gucci name, in particular, has become a symbol of status, exclusivity, and financial abundance. This is true even among the middle class, for whom buying even one Gucci could mean sacrificing other needs or desires for this one symbol of wealth. Whether you're a marketing professional or someone who aspires to be a savvy consumer, we could all learn a lot from this beloved Italian brand. 7 tricks Gucci uses to make you buy its products. Number 1. They know you. Gucci invests heavily in psychographic segmentation. This allows them to communicate with each target audience while speaking directly to that group's desires, lifestyle, activities, and interests. Unlike market segmentation, which divides audiences to enhance the relevance of their marketing message, psychographic segmentation primarily focuses on the psychology behind why certain groups of customers buy, how they buy, and how to get them to buy more. Generally speaking, Gucci's customers are 20 to 50 years old and have one or more of these primary traits. High class or status, possibly generational money, they have certain appearances to keep up in public. Failing to do so would not only cause them embarrassment, but potentially shame upon their whole family. Very high income, possibly new money, usually acquired with celebrity, influencer status. They may be in sports, entertainment, politics, or corporate innovation. These people tend to be visible and influential among themselves and the middle class. Higher than average income, middle-class professionals who wish to appear wealthier than they actually are by purchasing things most people can't afford and want to have the things high-income celebrities do. Chances are you fall into the third category. The marketing for the first two, by design, encourages you, a middle-class professional, to want Gucci products. Gucci's CEO calls your segment the fashion dreamer. You dream of fame, fortune, and prestige, and see a Gucci bag as a way to experience just a taste of that out-of-reach opulence. It's a small price to pay to live the dream. Number 2, they exploit your triggers. People like to think they make autonomous buying decisions. That's rarely the case in the real world. A large number of your buying decisions are not logical. They're not generated through free will. Instead, they result from a brand, like Gucci, pulling a trigger that they have identified through using data analytics. They've scientifically determined certain words, images, colors, music, and actions will cause you to act with little thought or rational decision-making. They use these same psychological triggers to get you to yearn for their products and feel you can't live without them. Yearning is a physical sensation in the gut that people often feel when they're madly in love. This yearning, also called fiending, contributes to mental health issues like drug abuse and social media addiction. For example, Gucci has focused on creating a relaxing and visually appealing environment in their stores, one that eases stress and makes those who enter feel special. The displays are proactive and induce feel-good hormones, which translate to good feelings. The employees are all dressed in black and stand waiting to be needed rather than pushing themselves on customers. The online experience is similarly exclusive. They offer white glove services other retailers do not, such as premium shipping options and private style advisor appointments. It feels good to get special treatment. This creates a responsive attachment to the brand. Once you feel that feeling, you want to feel it again. And you want to take that feeling home with you by buying their products. Number 3, logo mania. There's no mistaking a Gucci. Although you can certainly find some good knockoffs on the street, the logo is huge and often all over the product for good reason. It announces itself when it enters a room. It proclaims you're wearing a Gucci product. And because important people wear Gucci, you feel important by wearing something with the logo. The feeling is real and can't be denied. Having nice things does feel good and can even contribute to healthy self-esteem when not used as our sole measure of worth. Gucci's marketing team understands this and uses their logo to their advantage. Number 4, perceived value. Gucci has gone to great lengths to create a perceived value that people are willing to pay a premium for. First, Gucci sold us on the idea that fine Italian leather and superior craftsmanship are worth a higher price, even though there's no scientific proof of that. Then, they sell us the exclusive services, which in some cases may be on par with other retailers. The value is most certainly in the presentation of these benefits. It creates a perceived value that people are willing to pay for. This idea of superiority is exemplified by this Gucci tagline, quote, "Quality is remembered long after the price is forgotten," end quote. Aldo Gucci. There are several psychological tricks at play here. First, humans tend to associate a higher price point with greater quality, even though the two do not correlate. If a product is positioned correctly, Simply having a higher price point makes you think it's more valuable, even if another lower-priced product is on par or even better. Second, when something is expensive, not everyone can afford it. Those who can are willing to pay more for it for that reason alone. They want something others can't have. Third, when something is expensive, people often accentuate the positives like materials and designs while dismissing disadvantages like lack of practicality, which leads us to our next trick. Number 5. Sleight of hand. When someone pays a lot for something, they may feel they have to justify their extravagant purchase to themselves and others. This leads to a mental bias in favor of the expensive purchase. Humans may have cognitive biases that cause them to make irrational decisions. Simply knowing about these can help you spot them when they're happening, and it'll often help you make a buying decision that you'll be much happier with in the long run. In the case of Gucci, you encounter several biases, but the most important is confirmation bias, where you only see the things about the product that prove you made the right decision in paying so much for it. You ignore those that suggest you made a mistake. What can we say? People always want to be right. They will lie to themselves to make it true. As an example, let's say you buy a Gucci sweater that costs $2,700. Then it ends up spending most of its time in your closet instead of being used as intended. Why? Because you're afraid to use it except for special occasions. If you did, it wouldn't look new anymore, and in your mind, it would lose value. If you really think about it, the fact that you have something you don't feel you can use is a loss of value. But you don't see it that way because the value is what you were willing to pay the high price for. Buying Gucci is synonymous with prestige. But actually using the Gucci product more than once or twice just to show off that you have it means losing value instead. This remains true practically as well. Genuine Gucci can hold its value on the resale market when kept in pristine condition. If you have to go out of your way to protect something because you paid so much for it, you're working for Gucci and not getting paid. You paid them a lot for the privilege of having to protect your Gucci product. Number 6. Exclusive inclusivity. As with many brands lately, Gucci has begun promoting itself as an inclusive brand. They want their brand to appeal to everyone, regardless of gender. While most will probably agree that inclusivity is generally a good thing, it's important to realize that this is yet another psychological trick. The brand remains overwhelmingly exclusive in its marketing strategy, pricing and positioning itself as a luxury item that only a small percentage of people can afford. That kind of exclusivity remains popular, so they continue to engage in it. This isn't intended to be a value judgment, as that's how Gucci has become the brand it is today. Gucci also has a sustainability strategy to appeal to the eco-conscious consumer. While many brands just talk about lowering their emissions, Gucci has actually done it. In 2015, they set a goal to lower their greenhouse gas emissions 50% by 2025, and they're already at 47%. Both of these are noble efforts, but they also get people to buy their products because now, when you spend money on their products, you're also supporting a cause you believe in. 71% of consumers say they want to buy from brands that share their values. 66% also say they will not buy from a company that takes a stance they don't agree with. This fact is most pronounced in millennials, and they are Gucci's primary audience. It pays to take a stand in business today if your stance is popular among your audience. Brands like Gucci know this and choose to join these popular social change movements. They decide to do it very visibly because doing so is profitable. Brands can certainly do a lot of good by joining causes, but it's essential to understand that the causes they choose are usually business decisions rather than ethical ones. They get you to buy, and that's what matters. Number 7. Influencer Allure. In the late 90s, the likes of Britney Spears and the Spice Girls sported their bags and convinced a generation of millennials that Gucci is the epitome of fashion. Today, you might see Harry Styles, Serena Williams, or Dakota Johnson. Gucci has worked hard to build its brand equity by creating an association of the brand with the rich and famous. They've done so by keeping their price point out of the reach of most people. At the same time, they've marketed this exclusivity heavily to the wealthy. This has created a social expectation, particularly among the newer wealthy, that buying Gucci is a sign that they've made it. Then we have phase 2. Now, these influencers are on social media where they're trying to show off their wealth as a sign that they're rich and high status. They do it because it helps their own self-esteem. But as a result, they end up creating free advertising for Gucci that reaches their millions of followers. Their followers also want Gucci. They've convinced them that buying it will make them more like the influencers they so admire. Gucci reinforces this influencer marketing by direct marketing to the middle class. You'll see ads in print as well as on Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and more if you fall into their psychological segments or have shown interest by visiting their website. While Gucci certainly uses traditional and digital advertising, they've also hired bloggers and vloggers who create content for social media. At a glance, these accounts may appear independent of Gucci, but these are organized social media campaigns with paid content. Gucci applies several tried and true psychological tricks to get you to buy their products. We hope you found some of these techniques you can apply in your own strategies if you're a marketing professional. If you're a savvy consumer, it's critical to be aware of the great lengths brands go to get you to buy and buy more. Well, there you have it, 7 tricks Gucci uses to make you buy its products. What other successful brands' marketing strategies would you like to hear about? Let us know in the comments below. Here are some other videos that we think you'll like watching next.